Jason O'Neil here for HoopsFactoryTV with Julius Von Hanzlik, head coach of the SCA basketball team. Julius, you started out as a skills trainer and now are becoming a head coach of the high school basketball ranks. Do you find like your coaching philosophy is, I need to like do everything to make the player the best he can be, or I'm really just trying to win games?
I feel like being the best you can be is winning games as well. If you have championship standard in your program and winning culture, it helps you become a better basketball player. That is part of development. So playing as hard as you can, doing what it takes to win is part of development. Like I always say, like everybody has a skills trainer, but in order to enhance your skills and put your skills on steroids, it's about personality. So personality comes with winning. You know what I'm saying? So it makes you that much better of a player and it puts your skill set on steroids. Klay Thompson is a great shooter because of his winning mentality. Like he wants to make shots. He's not just taking shots. He wants to do what it takes to win games. You know what I'm saying? So I think winning and development are the same thing. A lot of people think it's two different things. To me, I think it's the same thing. It's holding guys to a certain standard and making sure they play by and live by those standards. You know.
I mean, we've seen that a lot because there's things that like you can't affect as far as teammates and stuff like that, but you can always affect like your effort and your motor and things like that.
People think like letting kids play through mistakes is development. Mistakes and not playing hard are two different things. If a kid's not playing hard and a kid doesn't box out or a kid doesn't close out hard, he needs to sit. That has nothing to do with playing through a mistake. That the kid who's not playing hard, or not a kid, just a basketball player who's not playing hard, that's a decision. That's not a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So if you sit him and if you hold him accountable, that's part of his development. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Missing a shot or a turnover here and there, that's going to happen. So you allow kids to play through that. That's part of the development. But people get confused by mistakes and not playing hard. Not playing hard is not a mistake. So if you hold a kid accountable and hold him to a certain standard, he's going to get better. That's going to help him develop. So,
and that whole idea of holding kids accountable, that's almost like a throwback, like even mentality. Now it's like, no, just give him the ball, give him the keys, let him do what he wants. Is that something that, like, where did you even come up with that kind of like thought process? You know what I mean? Is that like a coach that gave that to you, or parents, or where does that come from?
It's just life. You got to be held accountable. People hold guys accountable everywhere in life except when they get on the court. That's a problem. You're held accountable at home. You're held accountable at school. You're held accountable in the real world. But then when you get on the court, you're not held accountable. Every day you're able to grow as a person because you're being held accountable. You're being taught life lessons, different things. On the court, it's got to be the same way. You know, but the reason why guys are not held accountable is because they think that they're scared to coach the kid because they don't want to lose the kid. But the thing is, the ones who really want to be great want to be held accountable. Most kids want to be great, but at the end of the day, they're kids, so they're going to do what you allow them to do. If you allow them not to play hard, what are they going to do? Not play hard. It's just like in your household. If you allow your kid not to take out the trash, you think your kid's going to wake up before everybody and take out the trash? No. So that's the whole thing is kids want to be coached. They want to be coached. Now, certain kids you have to coach a certain way, right? Some guys you might not be able to yell at or coach hard, or some guys you may have to tone it down and talk to them a certain way. Some guys, they need that fiery coach. So you got to kind of figure out how to tap into each kid. And again, they're going to respond to coaching based on if they feel like you believe in them or not, you know? So that's what it comes down to. You know, it's no different than a parent at home. A kid knows their parent loves them, they're going to respond to discipline a certain way. But on the court, if the player doesn't feel that the coach loves him, then they're going to respond another way. You know what I'm saying? So if the kid feels like you love them, they're going to respond to the teaching differently.
And Jackson Kohler just signed with Michigan State with Tom Izzo. That was a real kind of big signing for your program. What did that mean to your program?
One, man, I think for our program, obviously, it's huge. I've been training Jackson since like maybe 10 years old or so. So there's no surprise that he got to this level because he lives, the bar is set high he sets the bar very high for himself. So his work ethic and the time he puts into the gym, these are the kind of things you get rewarded with. So none of that surprises me. But to me, when you have Tom Izzo, who is, I mean, he's a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of the most respected coaches in basketball, and he's very demanding. And he's another guy that sets the bar really high. When he recruits from your program, I think it just speaks volumes, because the similar things they believe in are what we believe in. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that to answer your question, it was huge for our program, you know?
You had your own AAU program for a long time with Cal Stars. Have you noticed any difference between the head coach at a high school versus head coach of like an AAU program?
Well, I run my AAU program very differently than most. Like, I care about winning. Like, I don't want to lose. Like, this year, our first loss was in July. We had 2 losses the entire spring and summer. Like, I try to win. So coaching AAU and coaching high school is the same for me. Like, it's about developing guys and doing what it takes to win games. You know what I'm saying? So it's no different for me.